Hello and welcome to the Tehmeena Rizvi podcast. As I have mentioned earlier, we'll be covering people's organic journeys in our podcast. Today we have an amazing guest here with us, Shefali Chopra. She's a storyteller, social entrepreneur, and a TEDx speaker. We already had a lot of conversations before we sat here, and I'm very interested to know about your life and your journeys, and as I can already see that you're an amazing storyteller with lot of expressions. So yeah, what made you who you are today?
Well, that's quite a bit. First of all, it's so lovely being here. And
Thank
I'm
you.
so happy that I had so many conversations with you already.
Yeah.
Yes, I did not really start as a storyteller, as I told you.
Hmm.
I come from JNK, and but I now always tell everybody that I'm Ramtaram because I travel so much. So I think I belong everywhere. और किस्से कहानियाँ they are a very important and integral part of my life because मुझे लगता है that everybody has a story
Yeah.
and one story that one
Yeah.
story can change many lives.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Though I was born in Jammu, but I grew up in the Middle East. A large chunk of my life I spent in Muscat and then in Dubai. I came to India in 99 and that's when I got married, so I came to India. कोई choice नहीं थी ना.
Yeah.
So this is about my my life. This is the beginning, I can say. Yes.
So the word Ramta Ram, when you call yourself that, I can only imagine that the idea of home, when we talk about home, what is the idea of home for you? Because you call yourself a wanderer, right? And you say that you were born in Jammu, you stayed at Middle East, you came back to India, now you keep traveling to places. So what's the concept of home for you?
Home is where there is love. Home is where आपके अपने आपके पास हैं. That is home. घर सच पूछो तो दीवारों से नहीं बनता, लोगों से बनता है. And as I said, I come from Jammu and Kashmir, so my Nanehal is in Jammu and दादेहाल मेरा कश्मीर में था. एंड ये तो सब जानते हैं कि कश्मीर में जो हुआ, जो क्या हुआ, उसके बाद दादेहाल वहाँ से ख़त्म हो गया. सो आई हैव ब्यूटिफुल मेमोरीज ऑफ कश्मीर ऑफ कोर्स एंड दे विल ऑलवेज बी देयर. बट मैं हमेशा ये कहती हूँ कि घर वही है जहाँ प्यार है.
Yeah, definitely. So when we talk about displacement and that your dadi, nani have migrated from one place to another, I'm sure there would be a lot of interesting stories with them. How much time have you spent with them knowing all of that?
I spent a lot of time with them, lot of time. जब तक थे उनसे किस्से और कहानियाँ मुझे लगता है वहीं से सुनने की आदत हो गई और फिर मैं तो
You started
yes
telling those.
I did and I think they were very interesting. I was very inquisitive as a child, so I always asked my दादी कि भाई हम क्या था हमारे पास, कैसे शुरू हुआ, कहाँ शुरू हुआ, कैसे आए. So I think they were very open about it. I was very close to my दादी और उनके पास कहानियाँ भी बड़ी होती थी. So बल्कि as I was telling you कि उनको बहुत लोग लाल बाई बोलते थे. There were these villages that they had and वहाँ के लोग उनको लाल बाई बोलते थे. So I wanted to know कि भाई ये लाल बाई की कहानियाँ क्या हैं. So I still remember, I'm going to share a very small little story here. She told me कि उनके यहाँ पे शाली वाली आती थी ना. शाली many people don't know. जो कश्मीर में जब चावल चुनते हैं, हाँ, तो उसको छानते हैं, और वो आती थी हमारे घर पे. तो मेरी दादी ने उनको देखा और काफ़ी दिन से ऑब्जर्व करी थी कि वो एक ही साड़ी पहन के आती. तो मेरी दादी ने आउट ऑफ लव एंड वॉट एवर शी फेल्ट कि आई थिंक आई शुड गिव अनदर साड़ी और 2 sarees टू हर. तो मेरी दादी ने उनको वो 2 साड़ियाँ दे दी. और कुछ दिन बाद मेरी दादी ने देखा कि दैट लेडी वाज वेयरिंग वन ऑफ द साड़ीज एंड शी केप्ट रिपीटिंग दैट ऑन एंड ऑफ, द ओल्ड शी हैड एंड द न्यू वन दैट शी हैड गिवन. सो माय दादी आस्क्ड हर कि आई गिव यू 2 बट तुम पहनती एक ही हो. उसने जो जवाब दिया ना वो कमाल है. उसने बोला कि ऐसा है लाल भाई, जो मेरे घर के पास एक और लेडी रहती है ना, वो बड़ी गरीब है, और मैंने उसको वो साड़ी दे दी.
She preferred to share that.
Yes. ये है हमारे लोगों का दिल, you know, pure and not thinking about accumulating all the time.
Yeah, hoarding.
You know? Not hoarding, not holding on कि ये सब मेरा है.
मेरा है.
But अगर है तो हम share कर लेते हैं. I think it is such a beautiful story, and really I think it kind of impacted me for a long time. I was thinking, मतलब अगर किसी के पास दो है तो it's like दो रोटी है, वो एक रोटी दे रहा है. It's a very big thing.
But do you think this was previously there? Do you think it has changed? Because nowadays in our generation, we don't see the similar type of natures. I mean, we would prefer hoarding and doing things like that instead of sharing. That's what we have turned into. But do you think that the way those people, that generation coexisted and believed in sharing and everybody should live comfortably, has that changed now?
Yes, it has. It really has. Initially, we were the children of the community. We were the children of our lanes where we stayed. We were not not just a child of one home. Like, you know, everybody could connect. कि ये हमारा बच्चा है. But that has died out. Now we only are consumed by this fact that we are from nuclear families.
Yeah.
And we stay like that. And that's the reason we don't have the heart to give away things so easily. We believe in hoarding. And giving is not easy.
Yeah.
Yes.
You need to have a big heart.
You need to have a big heart. And it's not about having money. It's never the case. It's always about a heart. You know, and it's not about giving money or giving clothes. It's even about small things in life, you know. It is about giving a smile, giving, you know, like some kind of care towards people. Kindness, sharing, everything. So I think that is kind of lost.
Yeah. So when your Nani had narrated all those stories to you, do you think that there was a sort of trauma included in all those stories, and which you could feel personally that what has happened to them should not have happened?
You know, very honestly, I must, you know, be honest with this. My Dadi was one of her kinds, you know. उन्होंने बहुत खोया. You know, it was like they came to Bombay to attend a premiere. उनके बेटे का ये फिल्म था परिंदा विदू चाचा का, and they had gone there to attend the premiere. They could never go back to Kashmir. Can you even imagine that?
The feeling is
मतलब
very
आप
bad.
सोच नहीं सकते, आप घर से 2 दिन के लिए निकले हो कोई छुट्टी मनाने के लिए और आप वापस नहीं आ पा रहे. And आज मैं ये बात बोल सकती हूँ with a little smile maybe, but I think it's very painful.
It is.
And imagine for that lady जिन्होंने मतलब सब कुछ वहीं उनकी लाइफ थी यार. It was their life. वजीर बाग 35 में वजीर बाग, it was their life. I mean, I can't ever imagine. हमारी एक छोटी सुई जैसी चीज खो जाती है तो हम परेशान हो जाते हैं. But you know,
the discomfort associated.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know, she said, I asked her, I said, what do you feel, Ma, that आप यहाँ आ गए हो बॉम्बे में and आपको कभी कश्मीर की याद नहीं आती? And you know what she said? She said, आती है, मगर कोई बात नहीं. मेरा घर वही है जहाँ मेरे बच्चे हैं. और मेरे बच्चे सेफ हैं और मैं ठीक हूँ. इससे बड़ी बात कोई नहीं हो सकती. और बाकी कोई बात नहीं, ले गए सब सामान, ले गए चीजें, ले जाने दो, दुख नहीं है. And trust me, she lived with this philosophy. That's why I would always see her laughing. She was joyful. मैंने उन्हें कभी रोते हुए नहीं देखा. कश्मीर के घर के लिए कभी रोते हुए नहीं देखा, कभी नहीं देखा. बट क्योंकि उन्होंने अपने माइंड को ट्रेन कर दिया था. She was a strong woman. I think that matters. I think what you feed your mind stays with you, and that's exactly what you keep feeding on over and over again. You know, it's like a cud that you keep, you know, chewing, because what's in your mind will always come back to you.
True.
So I think her idea was to stay positive, and I think she's really been an inspiration for me, and I would really want to be like her, you know, somewhere.
I would also like to mention that she is the niece of Vidhu Vinod Chopra, and we were discussing about the movie Parinda when he went for the premiere of Parinda, and that was the day when they could never go back.
That's right.
So I would also like to ask, how did the feeling of going never back affected Vinod sir's idea of living or being? I mean, he's into a different perspective of life. He's into theater, and all of this somehow does alter your brain somewhere.
So, I think Vidhu Chacha and the other people, they all grew up in Kashmir, of course, and then they chose their paths and they are where they are. Obviously, ghar ghar hota hai, and he would visit Kashmir when everything was okay. And for a big chunk of his life, he did not go back to Kashmir. But जब उनको बाद में मौका मिला मिशन कश्मीर के टाइम पे they'd gone for shooting, he did go back. He did go back and see his home also. So obviously that great connect is always there. हम घर जाएं या ना जाएं, जब आपने मुझे बताया कि आप कश्मीर से हैं, तो
it just touched something inside.
It is like मुझे अपनापन लगता है.
Yeah,
it's a great
definitely.
feeling. It's a great feeling कि तुम मेरी अपनी हो. It's like that. And when I talk about food like hak saag or dam aloo, everybody can connect.
Yeah,
But जो किसी ने खाया ही नहीं है, तो उसको
they
क्या
won't
पता?
be able to.
So like कहावा, हमारा कश्मीर का कहावा. So I think even in lives generally, what do you connect with? You connect with people over food, culture, and language. So I think ये automatic है. There is no rocket science to it. But we all miss our home. And I think eventually now it's not there any longer because somebody else took it much later and it's redone now. It's not our home any longer.
Anymore.
Yeah. But we have it in our heart. Yeah.
So when did you start storytelling? And I would specifically like to ask this because I believe that personal experiences usually shape what you do in life.
Right.
So all these stories, did the stories somehow pushed you inside to be a storyteller or try to, bring stories into life?
You're right. I think that's a very good question. Yeah, of course, you collect. I'm a collector. I collect stories from every nook and corner. And a lot of times I want to know more about people. I want to talk to them. Because now I realize in today's world, people are not really making conversations. And I truly believe in making conversations. Because अगर अभी तुम्हारा और मेरा झगड़ा हो जाए, तो what can set it right?
Conversation.
So it's just a very small thing. It's unfortunate that we are all sitting in our own cocoons and जब हमारा झगड़ा होता है, we don't go out to make a conversation or to set out things. वो चुप्पी चुप्पी में वो बात ही खत्म हो जाती है. And it's like conversations really make a lot of difference in people's lives. आप जितनी बात करोगे उतना आपको clarity भी होती है. But at the same time, जब मैं लोगों की कहानियाँ सुनती हूँ, it's very important for me because for being a storyteller, you have to also be a good listener.
Definitely.
आपको उनकी कहानी पेशेंस से सुननी पड़ती है. वो किस इमोशन से आपको कुछ बता रहे हैं, आपको उसमें उतरना है. You can't just randomly disconnect and say, oh, I'm done. No, it doesn't work like that. For being a good storyteller or being a good connector, I would call myself a connector. Because I try to connect things with people. My whole idea is to create smiles in this world. And I think जब आप किसी से honestly बात करते हो ना, तो आप कितने भी गलत हो, वो सब सही हो जाता है. कई बार मेरे को बहुत सारे लोग कहते हैं कि oh, maybe because we should speak in English, I'm a better communicator, or if I speak in Hindi, I may not be that good. I said that's not true.
Language is not the medium.
अब मैं तुमसे इशारे में ही बात करूं.
Yeah, it's about the feelings.
That's about it. I mean, all I did was nodded my head and said all is okay, and that's about it. So and you will say yeah, okay. So बहुत सारी चीज़ों को आपको कुछ कहना भी नहीं पड़ता, मगर effort करनी पड़ती है. I think that is the difference. That is what storytelling teaches you. And yes, I have been collecting stories from my family, from otherwise. लोगों से मिलती हूँ अभी, जैसे I came in a cab and I was speaking to this boy Rahul continuously, and I wanted to know about him and his life and his thinking, because मैं जानना चाहती हूँ कि आजकल की आवाम की सोच क्या है. और हाँ, अगर कभी मुझे लगेगा कि नहीं यार, इस सोच में कुछ करेक्शन ला सकते हैं, तो मैं अपनी भी चवन्नी डाल ही देती हूँ.
So have you came across any story while you were doing all of this, that any story which really shook you, or you thought like, oh my god, it's I would usually use this term, जैसे आप किसी और के दुख सुनते हो and you're like, मेरा बहुत कम है as compared to what he or she has bared. Did you ever come across a story like that?
I have come across many stories like that. और जब मैं सुनती हूँ और फिर मैं सोचती हूँ, भगवान मैं कितनी लकी हूँ. आई एम रियली लकी. आई थिंक हमें एहसास नहीं होता कि हम लोग कितने खुश नसीब हैं. First thing that comes to my mind is when I get up in the morning, I say thank you universe. बहुत सारे लोग रात को सोते हुए ही निकल जाते हैं, हमें वो दिन मिल रहा है, तो शुक्राना उसका. यू नो. एंड आई थिंक स्मॉल थिंग्स. अब तुमने इतनी अच्छी चाय बनवाई है तो इसको पी मैंने, तो थैंक यू. So small things, like if I meet anybody and somebody smiles at you, it feels so nice. We
Yeah.
can be grumpy whole day, but is that what we want for us and for our children? I think for a better tomorrow, we definitely need to do rectification today. अगर हमें कल बेहतर चाहिए, हमें आज पे फोकस करना है. And what do I want to teach a child, or my child, or any child in this world? Kindness. Because ये एक चीज़ है जो अगर हम जितना एक दूसरे को सिखाएं, वो भी कम होगा.
You talked about your encounter with autoimmune disease, right? We were discussing earlier. So I wanted to know about it, and what do you think it does to you personally with life interventions, and do you also believe that there should be more awareness regarding these things?
Yes. This was a life-changing moment in my life. And, it when you popped this question, it really took me back in 2016, I think, yeah. I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder called lupus, Lupus. Now, very honestly, I had never heard of it. So when the doctor told me, it took me quite a while actually to even get to that diagnosis. I was suffering. I was in pain.
Most autoimmune diseases are.
I was in pain. I was sinking in depression. Okay. And every day felt like I don't know how will this day pass for me. It used to be so painful. And a lot of times in the middle of the sleep, I would get such massive headaches that I would get up with that kind of pain. Okay. And eventually it was diagnosed that I had lupus. And when I asked the doctor, initially I said, when will I be okay? कोई भी एक आम आदमी जब कोई बीमारी के साथ जाता है, सबसे पहले डॉक्टर को यही पूछता है कि मैं कब ठीक होऊंगा. And I can never forget that day. Doctor told me, you will never be okay. And I started crying, And
It's
what do you
shattering.
mean, like, I'll never be okay? He says, see, this is like a dragon. It's like a sleeping dragon inside you. Now you have lupus. You cannot escape it. It's like cancer cells. Simple explanation. So, अब आपको ये हो गया है, तो अब क्या करोगे आप? So ये करोगे कि you have to live with it. You have to, take medication, do what the doctor tells you to, but you have to maneuver the disease. But it can never leave you. So that, I think, created a certain amount of psyche in me. And at that time, I must have read so much, but I remember reading one line. And I don't know, I have never read that line after that. I don't know from where did it come in. It said lupus happens to those who feel unloved.
Ah, it's, I don't know. I have
Yeah.
no words
And
for
I
that.
can't tell you, lot of autoimmune disease, I must tell you this, lot of autoimmune disease happen to people when they are suffering with some kind of being unsure about themselves. It also happens to people who have gone through deep depression and deep deprivation of different things. In my life, there was a point when I felt that I was cursed with this disease called pleasing disease. I had this habit of pleasing everybody
Everybody.
around me. And I think it was killing me. And it
It's
actually
draining.
did.
It's draining.
I wanted to say no, but I was saying yes. I did not want to go, but I was
Saying
going.
no is an art.
It's an art,
It's an art.
which I have learnt now.
Now,
But when you're growing up, when you're in your 30s, you don't know all this. इसका कोई
Yeah.
मैनुअल नहीं आता.
कोई सिखाता
कोई
नहीं.
सिखाता नहीं है कि बेटा ऐसा करना होगा, बेटा ऐसे बोलना है. कुछ नहीं. हर इंसान का मैनुअल अलग है. तुम्हारे चैलेंजेस अलग हैं, मेरे चैलेंजेस अलग हैं. हाँ, और हमको चैलेंजेस से पार कैसे करना है. हमने डिग्रियां कर ली, हमने फिजिक्स, केमिस्ट्री, बायो, मैथ्स, इंग्लिश सब पढ़ लिया, मगर रियल लाइफ को कैसे चलाना है वो हमें कहीं नहीं सीखा.
उसका टेक्स्ट बुक किसी ने नहीं दिया.
नहीं दिया. तो अब जब मेरे को चैलेंजेस आ रहे थे, मैं परेशान हो रही थी. कौन हेल्प करेगा? कोई हेल्प नहीं कर रहा था. सब कहते थे अरे ठीक हो जाएगा, अरे आहा ओके, पुट इट अंडर द कार्पेट, पुट इट. But they didn't realize that somewhere it was killing me. I was smiling, but my inside was crying. I was telling everybody I'm happy, but I was not. I wanted to be in the driver's seat, but I was
you
made
were
to sit in the
not.
passenger
Passengers.
seat. So I think at one time my body was not in harmony, or it was
Sync.
not in sync with what exactly was happening outside and inside. And then I went in the whirlpool.
That's a tough
It
time
was
to
very
be.
tough time. I cut it here and I tell you, when lupus was diagnosed, and my first thing, few days I was very upset. After that, I said यार इस डिजीज को समझना पड़ेगा, इससे दोस्ती करनी पड़ेगी. जब तक मैं इसके साथ दोस्ती नहीं करूंगी मैं आगे नहीं जा सकती.
Such a positive way of looking at it.
और मैंने क्या किया, मैंने लूपस के साथ दोस्ती कर ली. और वो कैसे, मैं एयरपोर्ट पे बैठी थी. आई एम अ स्कूल गर्ल, आई स्टिल एम. आई हैव दिस हैबिट ऑफ कैरिंग माई ओन डायरी, पुटिंग पॉइंट्स. सो आई टुक आउट, आई केप्ट राइटिंग LUPUS, LUPUS. I came out with my own derivation. I called it Love Your Pure Unlimited Self.
Amazing.
जिंदगी में तोड़ने वाले बहुत मिलते हैं. और जब वक्त खड़ा होने का होता है तो आप शायद सहारे के लिए ढूंढते रहते हो.
But that's within you.
But actually, that silly guy is within you.
Within you.
So, जब वो हुआ तो बस, my favorite word in this world is attraversiamo. It's an Italian word.
I'm hearing it for the first time.
Yes. So it's called attraversiamo, which means let's take a step forward. Move. We're not a tree that we cannot move. We can move. And that is when I realized we're all given boxes to live in. And it's okay to say, no, I don't want to live in that box. I want to move out.
Live in a triangle.
I want to live the way I want to live. And it's okay. But it took me a long, long, long while. Because it's difficult to break your own shackles.
It is. Definitely it is.
Because आपके साथ कोई खड़ा नहीं होगा.
आपके साथ
But-
खड़े होंगे लोग when you have finally achieved
Achieved something, yes.
That day everybody would come to you saying
ये
that
मेरा
she is my
रिश्तेदार है.
relative. Yeah.
So the thing is that you need to understand कि आप कितनी strength के साथ खड़े हो सकते हो. You need to understand that part. That how firm And how grounded are you?
For this, you'll have to deeply understand
You
yourself.
have to deeply understand yourself. You have to spend a lot of time just studying
With
your own
yourself.
self. You should not be carried away by what others are
Others
saying.
think of you.
And as I said, I was inflected with this disease of pleasing. So finally, I started giving it off. And when I started looking, I said, okay, fine, this is the problem. I said, no problem. Every day, I'm not going to meet Kapoor auntie or Mehta auntie. Every day, I have to see myself in the mirror.
Yeah.
अपने आप को देखना है और मैं अगर अपने आप को देख के खुश नहीं हूँ, so I'm
What's the
sorry.
fun?
What's
Yeah.
the point?
Yeah.
It's my life. I am the star of my story. So I'm a writer, I'm an editor,
Main
I'm
character.
a director.
Main
I'm
character.
I'm the protagonist of my story.
Yeah.
So why will I live somebody else's life?
Yeah. You had also mentioned that you donated part of your liver to your mother.
Yes, I did.
Was it the same time around when you were diagnosed
No.
with lupus, or it
No.
was before that?
It was much before that.
Okay.
Yeah, it was in 2010. I did give a part of my liver to my mom, and she was obviously sinking at that time. And today, when I look at her, she's there, and when I look at her smiling and giggling and fighting with me too, and traveling and everything, I'm very happy. So sometimes, जब मेरा ज़्यादा झगड़ा हो जाता है, तो
Do you
मैं
remind her?
I remind her. I said, liver वापस करो.
Oh my god.
I do remind her. I say, no, you have to smile and you have to be good because you have my liver.
But how does she feel about it? Feels about it? I mean, parents are usually anti this concept of taking something from kids.
Oh, she was completely anti it. Completely. There is a story to this. We were both in the hospital. I have another sibling. I have a younger brother. So I was very clear. But ये कहानी यहाँ से शुरू नहीं होती है. ये कहानी शुरू होती है जब मैं छोटी थी. I gave a lot of trouble to my mom. Okay. I was the troublemaker. And my brother was like the
Shant bacha of the
Shant
house.
bacha, the golden kid of the house.
Perfect.
Yeah, the perfect. Good kid, पढ़ाई में अच्छा, everything. So, and मैं, okay. So, I think बचपन में कहीं होता है ना, जैसे कोई आपको पढ़ा देता है. My mom is a doctor. So, मुझे किसी ने बचपन में पढ़ा दिया कि मम्मी is so busy in her own profession, she hardly takes care of you. So, I think वो कहीं as a kid मेरे अंदर घर कर गया. So, I would kind of course, I loved her. It's not like I did not love her, but I never expressed it to her that much. But as I grew up, and when I knew that my mom has liver cirrhosis, the hepatitis C, and at that time I said, no, I want to give a part of my liver. And I must tell you, this must have been in the history. That's what the doctor said. We've never seen siblings fighting like this. I started slapping my brother, and my brother slapped me because he wanted to give the piece of liver.
Both of you were fighting.
Us. But I was very lucky that my parameters matched with my mom. The interesting thing is, she did not know that I was the donor. So one time when they were taking mama for some x-ray or something, they were also taking me for some other thing. And she met me on the way. And she looked at me, and she was on the wheelchair. She looked at me, she said, "Tu donor hai?" And I said, yes. After that, when she was taken back to the room, she actually, I can't say she fought with my dad, but she was upset. She says, no, I don't want to take it from her. No, I don't want to. Why is she giving? And she was like, my daughter's married and she has a family. And I understand that. But I think it's okay. Bygones are bygones. And I'm very happy that I was able to give it to her. And she received it beautifully. And today she's around.
All well.
Yes, all is well. All
is well.
Yes. All is well.
Yeah, I literally remember that thing only.
Yes.
But it has been such an amazing journey for you. And I would say such tough instances as well. How do you hold all of this together?
It's not easy. It's not easy. I want to be honest, as I always tell you, that I'm a motivational speaker, yeah? and I try to motivate everybody around me. But ऐसा नहीं है कि motivational speakers उदास नहीं होते.
उदास नहीं होते, definitely.
Yeah.
It's not like psychologists
ऐसा
don't
कुछ
have
नहीं.
any
Yeah.
disorder.
We have our own issues, we have our own problems. But as I always tell everybody, जैसे हम brush करते हैं रोज, you brush every day, right? You brush every day. आप भी रोज brush करते हैं, सब brush करते हैं. So now the thing is that why do we brush every day? Because it's an effort, and we know we're going to look clean and smell good and
Dental
whatever.
hygiene.
Dental hygiene. We can't say ना कि okay भाई आज मैंने brush कर लिया, अब मैं 2 दिन brush नहीं करूँगा. So similarly, you have to motivate yourself every day. Every day. There are times I feel low, but I pick myself up. Then I don't look for anybody. I don't look for anybody. Oh, this guy is going to help me, or this person is going
Nobody's
to
going to help.
going to help me. I have to help my own self.
Definitely.
And I think this is what I've learned. So we do cry when people tell me, oh, motivational speeches रोते नहीं. I said बिल्कुल रोते, बड़े रोंदू होते हैं. But you need to understand that we spring back very quickly because we've understood that formula.
Trained ourselves.
We have
in fact.
trained ourselves. We have trained ourselves how to spring back quickly, and that's important. I think we all need a little bit of push and nudge to be able to adapt to this theory. And if you're able to do this, nothing in this world can stop you. Because as human beings, we are on a roller coaster ride. There are going to be ups and there are going to be downs.
Yeah.
There is no escape. The only thing is, please wear your seatbelt.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was such an interesting conversation today with you, and I loved every part of this podcast today. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you so much for having me over. I really loved it too.
Thank you. Thank you to the viewers who are watching us. Thank you. We'll be coming up with next podcast soon. Thank you so much.